Hello 8th class students, today we can start history portion. Our first lesson name is Understanding Modern Indian History. History is the branch of knowledge that records and analyzes past events and happenings. It is difficult to study a very long past which ranges from the start of life till date. Therefore, historians have divided it into three periods, namely ancients, medievals and modern. On the basis of commonness of characteristics and found during each period, this is called periodization of history. We divide history into different periods to capture the attributes and changes occurring in each period. However, such as division is not uniform for the entire world. Wonderful to know, James Mill, a Scottish economist and political philosopher, published a massive 3-volume work, A History of British India, in 1817. In this volume, he divided the Indian history into Hindu, Muslim and British periods. The 16th century marks the beginning of modern period in Europe. In Indian history, this period is a part of the medieval age. In India, the modern period stands after the death of Aurangzeb in 1707. What do you think about this division of Indian history? What problems may occur in the study of Indian history by this view? Do you think any period could be referred to a Hindu, Muslim or British? Do not other faiths exist simultaneously? According to Mill, all societies of Asia were at lower level of civilization as compared to Europe societies. Hence, according to this theory, the British rule represented all the aspects of progress and civilization. In other words, the period before the British rule was one of the darkness. Can this concept be accepted today? Also, the periodization of Indian history is borrowed from the West. In the West, the modern period was linked with the growth of forces of modernity like democracy, science, reason, liberty and equality. Medieval was a term used to describe a society where these features of modern society did not exist. However, under the British rule, India did not enjoy equality, freedom or liberty, nor did she experience economic growth or industrial and cultural progress. Therefore, many historians use the term colonial to refer this period. Meaning of colonization is a process of subjugation of one country by another, which leads to political, economic and socio-cultural changes in the conquered country. A colonizing country exploits the resources as well as the people of the subjugated country to promote its own interest. Dates in history. Dates in history are very important. A collection of historical facts would be as useless pile of information unless the events were arranged subsequently in order of their occurrence, that is, chronologically. In history, we study about changes that occur over a period of time. The moment we make comparisons between the past and the present, we refer to time. We talk of better and after. In fact, some dates and events act as landmarks because of the lasting impact they create. For instance, 15th August is celebrated as India's Independence Day. Choosing important dates. How do we decide which set of dates is important? Do we have any criteria to follow? Certain dates around which we would have built up our story of the past becomes vital when we focus on a particular set of events as important. The moment the focus of our study changes and we begin to look at new issues, a new set of dates acquires importance. Historians researching different aspects of same period find different dates and events more significant. For instance, while studying Shahjahan's reign, a political historian focuses on the dates that talk about his military achievements, relations with the Sikhs and Portuguese, as well as administrative measures. On the other hand, another historian dealing with the socio-cultural history will emphasize on dates dealing with founding of Shahjahanabad, commissioning and building of gardens in Kashmir, development in miniatures, painting and so on. While writing history to make it interesting and to give it clarity, historians divide it into chapters. In the process, they concentrate only on those events that give shape to the story which they are developing. Now, however, a new trend has emerged in the writing of history. Historians are addressing a multitude of other issues and other questions like how people earned their livelihood, what they produce, how urbanization began, how kingdoms developed and ideas spread, and what new dynamic developments took place in culture and society of the period under study. Sources of modern Indian history. A variety of source materials is available for studying modern Indian history. These include British administrative records, survey records, records of government orders, acts, letters, diaries of officials and other eyewitness accounts, letters written by Indian nationalist leaders to each other and records of court proceedings, etc. Historians use these sources according to their need. Administrative records. Official records of the British administration are some important sources of modern Indian history. The British maintained strict control over the administration and ensured that all administrative actions were well documented. This practice created an administrative culture of memos, noting and reports. The British also made efforts to preserve those documents which, from village tahsildar to courts all government departments maintained in their record rooms. These help historians in their study of that period. Besides archives and museums were also established to preserve the vital administrative accounts. The National Archives of India were established in New Delhi in the 1920s. Documents available here have helped scholars immensely in writing the history of this period. It houses actual proceedings of meetings of government officials, government orders, legal acts, letters, eyewitnesses, accounts, diaries of officials, letters written by Indian nationalist leaders to each other, and records of courts proceedings, farmans and old books. The National Museum in New Delhi and other museums across the country too have played an important role in reconstructing the history of this period, as is shown in picture. National Archives of India. Surveying. The British believed that to rule any country effectively, it is required to know that country properly. Therefore, detailed maps of the entire country were prepared during the early 19th century. Revenue surveys were conducted in the villages to know about the topography, soil quality, flora, fauna, local history, and the cropping pattern. From the end of the 19th century, census surveys were carried out and they were held after every 10 years. These surveys provided information on the size and distribution of population, castes, religions, occupations, and other important aspects which are available for use today. Monuments and towns. The Britishers constructed forts, residential, officials, and public buildings and quarters. The Viceroy's Memorial in Kolkata, Viceroy's terminals in Mumbai, Fort Williams in Kolkata, and Rashtrapati Bhavan are some of the important buildings constructed during this period. Besides, the British also founded towns such as Simla, the summer capital of British Raj. These also provide valuable information for writing history. What official records hide? Official records try to favor and highlight the viewpoint of the government and administrators, but ignore the common people's viewpoint, feelings, expectations, pain, and happiness. For that, we need to look at other sources such as autobiographies, travelers' accounts, novels, and poems. Many foreign authors such as Vincent Smith and Max Maclure wrote extensively about history and culture of India along with Indian philosophy. Books that contain collections of speeches by Nehru or several volumes of Gandhiji collected works or important works by great leaders like Maulana Abdul Kalam Azad and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar are extremely important. These books present the Indian perspective. Many newspapers were also published in India during this period. These helped in understanding the views and opinions of the Indians. They were published in English as well as in a vernacular languages, local languages like Tamil, Urdu, Bengali, Gujarati, Marathi, and Hindi. Raja Ram Mohan Roy started Mirat al-Akbar, the first newspapers in Persian language. Bal Gangadhar Tilak published Kesari in Marathi and Maratha in English. All these newspapers, through news, cartoons, letters and editorials, created awareness about the intentions of the British. Besides literary sources, maps, photographs and paintings also constitute an important part of the sources. Along with photographs, radio broadcasts of the important leaders and motivational songs arised to prepare the people for struggle against the British rule are very important sources for building the history of this time. Now they are kept in all India Radio's archives. All these sources, however, produced by the educated people. These rarely capture the life of tribals, peasants, mine workers or poor people in the streets. Their experiences and their history was totally different from those of the literate society. To know more about them, we need to look deeper, and this can be done by a thorough and unbiased study that we will attempt to do. Not fit for human consumption. Newspapers provide accounts of the movements in different parts of the country. Here is a report of a police strike in 1946. More than 200 policemen in Delhi refused to take their food on Thursday morning as a protest against their low salaries and the bad quality of food supplied to them from the police lines kitchen. As the news spread to the other police stations, the men there also refused to take food. One of the strikers said, "The food supplied to us from the police lines kitchen is not fit for human consumption. Even cattle would not eat the chapatis and dal which we have to eat." That was published in Hindustan Times on 22nd March 1946. Now we can discuss some important points. First point is, history denotes a continuous flow of events and happenings. History is divided into three periods: ancient, medieval and modern. This division is however not uniform for the entire world. Dates are very important in history. Many types of literary sources are available for the study of modern history. Some records do not reveal what the citizens of the subjected country felt, that what were the intentions that lay behind the subjugating powers' actions. The sources of history consist of official and unofficial records.